All right, welcome back. Just want to read off one donation real quick. We have $100 from Anonymous saying Dark Souls hype. And then the runner is ready for Dark Souls 3, so we're going to throw it over to them, and let's get ready to see some dying. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, hopefully not. But it is Dark Souls, so plenty of stuff is going to die. Hopefully just not me. Anyway, I think ENB was the winner of our name donation incentive, so Epic Name Bro is now a lovely young lady. Congratulations to him.
As he always wanted to be.
I mean, isn't it his dream? So anyway, once we hit yes, we're going to go ahead and start the timer. Is everyone ready for Dark Souls? That's what I like to hear. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. So this is going to be Dark Souls 3, all bosses, but just DLC 1, because that's what was available at the time of the run setup. I don't know.
Submission process.
Submission process, thank you. See, that's why you're on the couch. You're smart.
Yeah, eye candy.
Anyway, we're starting with the Assassin class because, well, it has the Spook spell. Does it have a good weapon or good stats? Not really, but it has the Spook spell. And that is overpowered and lets us cheat the game a lot. So thank you very much for that.
The shield comes in handy.
Kind of. We picked up this Ashen Estus flask because we would like to have more Estus later on. Ow. And it only takes like half a second to pick it up, so no big deal. I'd love to be able to never pick up any more Estus stuff, but this game's too hard. So we're going to go into our first boss right away, nice and fast. This is Udex Gundyr, and he's slightly challenging at first, but when you learn that you can stagger him by continually attacking him over and over, he becomes a lot easier. So we're at 13 hits. We're going to do some charged R2s to him while he transforms into phase 2. And he is basically dead now. Just a couple more hits. No, don't jump. Okay, we got him.
Good job.
Hate that guy when he jumps. He is so rude.
It's kind of probably among all the Souls games, first bosses, probably the hardest.
Oh, he's definitely up there.
Yeah.
Another good choice would probably be like Gascoigne from Bloodborne.
Oh boy, yeah.
Another super hard first boss. So shout outs to Dark Souls 1 because, well, Dark Souls 3 is very much a love letter to the fans of Dark Souls 1, and you know, you find that out pretty darn early as we enter Firelink Shrine, which is our hub for the game.
Yeah, it looks a little different.
You know, it's been a couple thousand years. We're going to buy a heal aid, a dagger, a short sword, a talisman. All of those will help us break the game in various ways. And we're going to infuse our fire gem that we started with into the short sword we just bought, get all our Estus set up, and we are about ready to head off on our journey. So we've got a bunch of nothing to do, so a donation would be great. I love donations.
Donations you shall have. We have $50 from Mr. Sonic Blue saying, I'm eating fajitas.
Eating spiked Vegeta.
Delicious. We're going to go ahead and tune our heal spell before we go traveling here. And more donations. Let's go.
All right. We have $200 from Jacob P. with no comment, but thank you for your donation. We have a $500 donation from Andy Hamilton.
Nice.
He says, Hi, SGDQ. I've always made it a point to dig deep and share the love with the world. Giving to Doctors Without Borders while supporting my favorite hobby just seems to be a perfect fit. Speaking of which, this donation goes to the Dark Souls 3 file name being ENB. Congrats, you got that. Because I can think of no one more integral to the lore, the gameplay, and the spirit of the Dark Souls community than the Epic Name Bro. Cheers.
Good donation. Epic Name Bro, definitely a big name for the Souls community.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite people to watch Let's Plays from.
Yeah.
Anyway, one quick note. We picked up some gold pine resin, and I actually picked it up on the same frame that I walked off the edge, so I skipped the pickup animation and saved a whole second. Hype.
Yeah, there's like tiny little window where you can still interact while you're falling, where the item box will fade away, and if you tap it right there to grab it, you don't need to worry about doing the snag animation.
And the best part is, it's a swag strat, because if you mess it up, you lose like 15 seconds of running back up there.
Yeah.
So it's worth every time. Anyway, what we're doing here is called a, well, it's from earlier Dark Souls, a fall control quit out. In this game, the spell is called Spook, but what that spell does is it stops you from taking damage when you take a fall. Now, the way Dark Souls is programmed is if you fall a certain distance, when you hit, you're going to die anyway. But before it registers that we're supposed to die, if I quit out while on the solid ground, it just puts me down at the bottom because Dark Souls is just a little too stupid to figure out I'm not supposed to be there.
Yeah, so that does also work in Dark Souls 1, and it works in Demon Souls as well.
Yeah, it's been around forever. It's because the game is constantly saving your position. Mm-hmm. Which is, you know, a good thing in some ways and a bad thing in others. So
we needed to talk to her right there to get the stuff to advance after you beat Fort.
Yeah, she gives us the small Lothric banner, which is going to let us activate a cutscene a little bit after the next boss, who is in this totally not obvious boss arena. No, that don't look like a boss arena.
I love how you can just know sometimes, like, I'm going to fight something here.
Now, is this a giant square? Yeah, I think that's a boss arena.
Here's the, we're not, well, yeah. So here's, like, the abuse of where you can stand for Vort. Just right underneath him.
Yeah, in Phase 1, Vort's attacks are, the hitbox is just his hammer. Which makes sense. Once he gets to Phase 2, though, his entire body will hit you when he starts attacking, so once he goes into here, we're going to have to dodge a few charges. And he's kind enough to just stand still for a while and do this big breath attack that's aimed nowhere near me. Thank you, sir.
You got the good luck, too, so he's right where the bonfire is.
And we're going to actually take this bonfire to open that door nice and fast. Normally I'd do a quit out, but just for safety strats, we'll have that bonfire as a backup in case something horrible happens. But we'll be fine.
Yeah, this is a pretty risky area up here. There's going to be some dogs, some enemies that block doorways, some like very jackalish enemies that have like these weird hats.
Oop. So I stole that dog's bone, and he is rather upset with me. He's going to be chasing me for a little while. In the meantime, go ahead and read a donation while the dog chomps my butt.
All right. We have a $200 donation from Rebel Go Round saying, "Hello, everyone. First-time donator, many-time watcher. Every little bit helps, but watching the new Zelda get wrecked is a great incentive. Obviously, all of this is to the Zelda speedrun." And just a quick update on the status of where the Breath of the Wild incentive is. We are currently at, let me find it. We're currently at just shy of 74,000 out of the 100,000 needed. Keep those donations coming. I'm sure we're going to get that met very soon with your people's generosity.
Nice, that's good to hear. I'm super hyped for the Zelda run.
Yeah, that run is really intense, the 90% run.
So I'm quitting out at this doorway because this guy likes to stand in it when you run over there. And when you quit out in Dark Souls, it resets all of the enemies back to their spawn position. So it moves him out of the doorway and allows me to pass through. Now, I could fight him and go through it, but usually the other guy inside of that house off to the right also gets in the doorway. And then you lose time and get angry at the world because they hit you.
Yeah, Dark Souls games, sometimes you'll see some really weird movement in the speedrun, and that's typically intended. Almost every pattern and place where he stops running and regains run and rolls, it's not just improv and trying to get from point A to point B. You want to stop certain enemies. So he rolled into that one that he just ran by because he's got that pitchfork. And you'll switch to a two-handed weapon here because you need to kill the lizard, and it's like, yeah.
Well, we'll switch to this two-handed fire weapon. Whoa! What is with that fast teleport, lizard? I've never seen him do that. Hey, we got a GDQ meme. We did it.
Don't worry, it's Dark Souls 3. You don't have to try that hard.
Oh, it's true. Anyway, coming up to this, we have another guy that likes to stand in the doorway. But in Dark Souls 3, when you drink Estus, well, never mind. Usually it makes the enemy really angry and want to attack you, and he usually runs out the doorway. But today he was afraid of the door. It was a bad day for him, apparently. All right, so I'm about to do something I'm not supposed to. I'm not able to put this charcoal pine resin on my weapon because it's got a fire infusion, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to dupe the resin by putting it on the ground. So this is why we have the heal aid in the first place. By trying to use the resin, it kind of puts the action into a queue, and then we access the queue by using heal aid and then an Estus flask right after, because Dark Souls is really weird.
Now he's got a fiery fire weapon.
And the fire damage stacks, and this boss is weak against fire.
So, yeah, this boss has these nodes on him that you need to break, and eventually the floor will be destroyed, and all the enemies will die of fall damage. You don't, for some reason.
It's weird. Anyway, I am going to need a little bit of quiet for a skip I'm about to do right at the end of this boss, and there is a sound cue for it. It's the only time I'm going to ask for quiet. Otherwise, I want memes, lots of memes. Oh, I think that was early.
I saw victory achieved.
Hey, never mind.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah, good job.
Did I say early? I meant perfect.
Perfect.
So that is called the Great Wood Skip. Every boss in Dark Souls 3 has a very narrow timing window, like I'd say 0.4, 0.5 seconds, where you can quit out during their death, and it'll put you outside of where their fog gate would spawn. Now, it's not useful for any boss but him, and only because he breaks that floor. With that, I don't have to use a bonfire and teleport all over the place. Instead, I can just run right out the doorway that is open in the area. And I got past the Bridge of Broken Dreams. A couple enemies walked off because they're very smart. Thank you.
Yeah, that area is just pure hell. There's so many. You saw him dodge everything there.
That's why I'm quitting out at this doorway. I'd prefer them not to come up and hit me the second the door opens.
Yeah, it's typically quite tedious, but still a strat that you quit out on doorways to save in-game time, but we're at a marathon. We're running on real time, and we won't be doing that unless the point is to get rid of enemies like that.
Exactly.
So all the enemies are back in their spawn points and no longer on his butt.
Well, for now, we've just got a little bit of running. Feel free to read a couple of donations.
All right, we've got $10 from the Undead Zebra.
Hey!
Saying, hey Thor, Chad is cheering you on from home. Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Good luck, and we love you, buddy.
Thanks, Zebra.
Got $50 from Zaz Train saying, greetings from Donator, longtime viewer, first time Germany here. Glad to donate to such a worthy cause. May RNG be forever in your favor, Thor. And oh my dog.
See some oh my dogs. I got some dogs up here.
Oh, yeah. So this next part is the hardest skip in the run to actually learn how to do consistently. So good luck to me. Anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to try to trigger what's known as a death cam. And what that is a trigger in the game that you can, once you hit it, you're supposed to be falling into a pit and about to die. And if I do it right, I'll trick the game into thinking I'm about to fall into a pit, but actually not. But first I have to get rid of these dogs. Go away, dogs. Oh, good, he teleported off. What a
Yeah, they can just teleport.
Bye.
That's
Bye.
the pregnant one, too. No.
Oh, I'm sorry. The puppy had to die, too. All right, so this is super precise. Super duper precise in like 2 different ways. I need to aim properly, and my hand is cold. And, not quite. Didn't quite hit the trigger there. A little bit shallow. That's too far to the right. Come on. Come on. Every time I let go of this mouse, it moves a little bit. Ah, come on.
That was really close, yeah.
That's about as close as you can get without hitting it. And any deeper, and I would just fall into the pit. Get your butt in there. Come on now. So yeah, sorry if this takes a couple tries. This is one of the hardest tricks in Dark Souls 3. Ugh. Can you tell how entertaining this is?
It'll be in just a second.
Oh, come on. Anyway, I can fail this like 10 more times and still save time.
Yeah.
There we go. Look at that. We're dead. We did it. So, like I said before, this is called a death cam glitch. And I hit a trigger that makes the camera kind of lock into place. And it's supposed to go into an overhead view as you fall down, and then the words, "You died," come up. And somewhere in Japan, Miyazaki laughs at you.
The property of the camera is what loads a lot of parts of the game. So since we're not actually hitting the flags that load the following chunks for the rest of the Farron area, we can just go through them.
Yep, you see, we are now in Purgatory. Things like trees and solid objects like the ground still have mass, but anything that's movable and interactable no longer exists, like this gate that I just passed through, that I'm not supposed to pass through on this side. And now I just have to navigate my way through. By the way, the navigation during a death cam is really weird. I'm using the keyboard because it has basically like tank controls, almost like I'm playing Resident Evil. And now we're right next to the bonfire.
Yeah, so typically you have to walk around the swamp and there's really annoying enemies and you gotta light some torches. And just to open up a door so you can get to the Abyss Watchers, but
yeah, that
better.
skips the entirety of the Farron Swamp, which is a minute and a half, 2 minute slog through huge amounts of enemies and a really annoying area. And hey, if you like really difficult to perform tricks, congratulations, we've got another one right on the way.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single Souls run or category that's like competitive and doesn't have like one trick that's like super tricky.
Yep. This next one I get one try at, unless I want to cheat and load a save file.
Who would do that?
Nah, nobody would do that.
You can't do that in a marathon.
It's impossible. Anyway, we're about to go into the Abyss Watcher's boss room. But I'm going to try and enter it in a very special way. There is a specific area inside of this boss room which, well, you'll see. All I have to do is line it up. This is another incredibly precise trick, so if I could have some stability with my hand. Oh, geez. It's over. I'm so shaky. Whew. Hand's freezing. And I have the mouse sensitivity set to 0 for this because of how incredibly precise it has to be. Come on, we're just gotta line it up. I feel like a giant with this mouse. This mouse is tiny. That's not quite it. Yep. Controller, please. Will that work? That should work.
It should work.
All right, so a couple of charged R2s is going to put me into a really specific area inside of this boss room. And this, I believe, is the only boss room where you can do this. They fixed it. Used to be able to do it on Soul of Cinder.
I think this wasn't possible before, but then they patched the game and then it's possible.
Yeah, FromSoft is really good at doing stuff like that.
Yeah, there you go.
So hey, you might notice that the Abyss Watcher's fight is a tiny bit easier for me than it might have been for you when you were playing. I mean, he's just, he's not home right now, but I mean, I can still hit him. So the way this works, for anyone that might be wondering, is that when you quit out inside of a boss room in Dark Souls, it's supposed to put you outside of the room. And there's basically like 2 different fog gates that can come up into the game. Oh, don't worry about him. He's fine. So if you go into the boss room normally to fight the boss, fog gate A comes up. And all that does is that keeps you from going backwards. If you quit out, fog gate B comes up. And for this particular boss, that particular fog gate contains his AI when it comes up so that the game can run smoother and the fight doesn't advance itself with the boss fighting itself or anything. By the way, I just duped his soul for 20,000 more souls. Don't worry about it. It's cool. And since his AI wasn't loaded in, we just kind of were allowed to do whatever we wanted to him. And now we just need to run past some spooky, scary skeletons. So for the time being, I would love some donations.
All right, we have $250 from an anonymous donor saying, "Get good, cheers," from one of your Twitch followers. Best of luck. Donation goes to Runner's Choice. We have a $500 donation from Brainiac 744.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He didn't leave a comment, but thank you for your donation.
Don't need to clap for it.
I do. It's a good donation.
We have a $300 donation from Pal Gork saying, "Have to donate for the Dark Souls runs. I love the series, even if the difficulty is bad for my nerves." We have a $200 donation from Marnie Sapper 21173 saying, "I love the Soul series. It completely ruined all the other video games for me. Praise the sun."
All right, so we just picked up the Grave Warden's Ashes and then ran by Naruto. The Grave Warden's Ashes let us purchase 2 things from the shopkeeper that are very important. First, it lets us purchase Titanite shards so we can upgrade the main weapon for the run. And second, it'll allow us to purchase some Carthus Rouge, which is a resin that got added in Dark Souls 3, which inflicts bleed damage after a certain number of hits, which is going to be the main way that we fight the later game bosses, because unfortunately there's nothing super OP to the point where I can just dark bead them to murder them like in Dark Souls 1. So bleeding them is the next best thing. So just like with before, with this giant hand that we're about to fight, I'm going to tumble buff that to put fire on my fire sword. And this is High Lord Wolnir. He has dank bling. And he is not allowed to have dank bling because I am the only one that is the main character of this show. Anyway, these bracelets, they break after a certain number of hits and do very heavy damage to him, as you can see. And once all 3 are broken, he will die. Goodbye.
Yeah, good fight.
Oh, we even got the fast death animation.
Yeah, if you mess that up, things can go downhill pretty quickly. He can swipe you and pretty much almost kill you in any attack. And he's got like this fog that'll lower your health really quickly.
Yeah, if he charges forward and you get behind him, you're dead. He vapes you to death.
Yeah.
He is Vape Lord Volnir. All right, so we're back at the Farron Keep because as much as I'd love to continue past Volnir, I have to do some backtracking and go grab a key item elsewhere in the world. And of course, we're killing all the bosses, so there's another couple of bosses I have to go through. They can't be allowed to live. They're very bad bosses. We're about to go grab the main weapon for the run. This is the Sellsword Twin Blades over here. They are super good. They're actually a starting weapon for the mercenary class too. And the only reason we don't start as that class, at least I think it's the mercenary class that has them. Anyway, the only reason we don't start as that class is because it doesn't have Spook.
Yeah, Spook is more important in terms of the time save, but knowing that the Sellsword Twin Blades are really strong, it's not too hard to know what the strongest weapon is. All you gotta do is just test it. But it's kind of been out of the way, and previously straight swords were really overpowered as well, so that used to be part of the route for a long time with the Stora straight sword and Henri straight sword. But Spellsword Twin Blades, with plenty of dexterity and upgraded and just using 2 weapons at the same time, basically, you can get a really high DPS in.
Mr. Krabs, no.
Oh, he's got the Grass Crest shield.
Best shield in the game.
Yeah. Always the best shield in like all Souls games because it regenerates your stamina.
Uh-oh. He's teleporting. All right, we are very close to our next boss. Just a couple more doorways. Hopefully that dog is not following me anymore, but knowing Dark Souls, he is. And you might notice we're passing, like, all the mages in the universe. I wonder what kind of boss we're about to fight. Probably some sort of melee boss. All right, so we're going to tumble buff our weapon, and I'm actually going to dupe this just for safety in case we get really bad RNG on this boss. This boss is RNG based for the run. So this is Crystal Sage. He's going to go ahead and disappear now. And I did a very specific amount of damage to him to make sure that he wouldn't go into phase 2 yet. And I now need him to cast a spell called Crystal Homing Soul Mass. So I'm just going to dance at him until he does it. Oh, good.
Because
good RNG.
Yeah, he won't teleport while he's doing an attack, and as long as one of the beads are still in the air, he won't teleport.
Yep, and this prevents him from properly going to phase 2, which in phase 2, he'll teleport all around, he'll create a bunch of clones of himself, and they all hurt a lot. And that was a really good Crystal Sage split, actually.
Yeah.
Only took him a couple of spells before he cast Homing Soul Mass.
Big run killer normally on that fight, not because of the difficulty, but just you gotta get lucky.
It's somewhat difficult to actually fight him like that and prevent him from shooting off his shots, too.
Yeah.
You have to circle around him and stay on his side, or else they'll fire off really quick. Safety bonfire. Anyway, we've got a big run going on, so feel free to read a few donations.
All right, we have $15 from Mikas saying, donating during Dark Souls because they are some of my favorite games ever. Good luck to ThorW and praise the sun. We have a $50 donation from Aggie the Salty saying, had to donate for Dark Souls. Kick some butts, ThorW, and kill the animals before they kill you.
Yeah! Oh no. Please. Please, dog. More donations, please.
All right. We have $100 from Anonymous saying, love seeing new games broken on GDQ, so I'm putting my birthday money towards Breath of the Wild. And we have a $200 donation from The Vanished Man simply saying, wow, pretty great.
Wow.
Then we have Honey Bunch giving $500 donation.
Yeah.
Simply saying, go fast.
All right, so this guy is going to take us into the DLC. Bubbles, do you know why we're going to the DLC right now?
Because it's all bosses DLC1.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good guess, good guess.
Okay.
Well, you're technically right. But we're going to the DLC right now because I am level 10. This is a level 70 to 80 area, and I am ready to go.
Oh, that's why.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel confident. Anyway, the real reason we're here is to say hello to the magical appearing tree. Hello. But really what we're doing is we're picking up some upgrade materials for our Sellsword Twin Blades before we continue on with the next boss. Now, like I said before, I did make a point of saying this is level 70 to 80 area, and again, level 10. So I die in 2 hits.
If you're lucky.
Well, you know, there's a couple things that can one-shot me, but they're a little far and few between. But I die in 2 hits. We'll keep it at that.
Oh, yeah, you got that female character that takes the counter hit upon running.
That's true.
Oh, that's the worst.
But she's pretty.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite manipulation in Souls games is when you just... Crystal lizards will run away from you. And so if you just stand in a spot that's like away from a cliff, they'll just kill themselves.
Yeah, in previous Souls games when they did that, they'd live. But luckily in Dark Souls 3, they die when they actually run off cliffs.
Oh, dude, it's Final Fantasy VII.
Also, this is the best slide ever. It's the best part of the DLC. And we're about to go grab another weapon because Dark Souls 3 is a game of many weapons. Up on that rock there. Also, I'm sorry for these things screaming at us. Spit your goo. And we're not allowed to jump up that rock, but,
Yeah.
you know. FromSoft doesn't want you to know that you can do that, so please don't pay attention to it.
He got probably one of the coolest items for glitching in this game, and we'll see it later.
Okay, Voldo. No, not you.
I know
Sam.
Valdo.
Anyway, we picked up the Croquills, as Bubbles was saying, and that is one of the best items for glitching in Dark Souls 3. It got patched like very soon after DLC1 came out, but since we're running just DLC1, I get to show off how awesome they are,
Yes,
and they're super
that's
awesome.
the benefit of this, yeah.
So, I would rather not have to fight anything in here, because if I die in 2 hits, it's a bad fight. But I do have to fight one person. There is an NPC in this building over here, and he is blocking our path and holding a key very dearly to his chest, and I need to rip it out of him. Wish me luck, guys. I think I got this, though. In fact, I got this so hard, I'm only going to fight him with my shield.
The gall.
The Gaul. Anyway, this is Wilhelm. He is anime incarnate because his voice is deep and he has black fire on his sword.
I wonder if he's trying to make new friends in his high school.
Anyway, I have an ally on my side that he doesn't. I have gravity. Get off of my mountain, sir. Sir. All right, goodbye. I am once more king of the mountain. Reigning champ. So yeah, fighting him would be a terrible idea. He would murder me. Instead, I am happy enough to just push him off a cliff.
Oh, look, stairs.
Oh, those poor books. So the next part is just a long run to the next bonfire. We got some time for donations. I love donations.
All right. We have $200 from Isconnect. Did my best pronounce that. I stumbled upon GDQ a couple years ago on Twitch, and I'm so glad I did. Amazing games for an amazing cause. I had to make my first donation ever during the Dark Souls run, one of my favorite game series of all time. Thank you to everyone who does an amazing job making these events happen. P.S. Sorry if my hard-pronounced name. We have $150 from Zarori, saying, long-time GDQ watcher. Been a lot of outstanding runs this year, starting with the hypest Android shenanigans with Nier Automata and going non-stop since then. I may have passed out halfway through FF7, but I tried. Good luck with Dark Souls, and I'm looking forward to Breath of the Wild. And we have $150 from Paul Foster. I've spent all this last week trying to think of something clever to say and failed. But with Dark Souls playing, I realized my time has come. Throw good luck, and may the good blood praise the seek blessed.
That's great.
Oh, that dog jumped right off the cliff.
And that one ran right off the cliff.
Shoutouts to Toasty in Spiral 1.
So we ran past the dog onslaught. We've just got a giant Viking here, and we're picking up. Okay, don't, sir.
Oh no.
Sir.
He's really upset.
He is super upset. Jeez. All right, we've picked up the last of our large Titanite shards. We are ready to get out of here. Just got to go grab a bonfire and run past Jeff Goldblum and all of the Jeff Goldblums.
Oh, wow. What a reference.
Oh, it's the best reference. Yeah, this particular room is really disgusting. We don't want to go down below. There's flies everywhere and a bunch of fly eggs and disgusting stuff everywhere. So you know we'll be going down there later.
Get naked.
Oh, we got to get naked. For reasons. Actual reasons. The reason that I take armor off at certain times is because when you have armor off, you're able to roll faster. And anytime I'm expecting to have to roll a few times, I'll take the armor off so that we can proceed a little bit more quickly. All right, so we're going to give her these ashes. We're going to sell any souls we still have. And we're going to buy 6 rouge, 12 Titanite shards, and 11 bones. And this is Oh, hiccup. This is going to allow us to reinforce our sellsword twin blades up. And we'll reinforce our Estus, give him the Farron Coal so that we can infuse them with a sharp gem. And now they are the best dex weapon ever.
Yep, pretty much.
Giant Dad is crying somewhere for me. All right, so we didn't have enough dex to use it, but I'm going to level up dex just a tiny bit. All right, that seems good. So with the sharp infusion and with the increased level of these blades, they have A scaling.
Yeah.
Close to S, probably.
Yeah. I think it turns to S if you get like closer up to +5 on the sharp. But,
something like that, yeah.
But we're going to see how these just go through people like butter.
I mean, before it would take like 4 swipes to kill these guys. Now they're kind of nothing, which is great. I love being able to murder stuff in one hit. Feels good, man.
And the swings don't take up too much stamina, and they have like a huge, I guess, circumference of like how far you can actually hit. And really useful.
And one of the best things about them is you can dual wield them.
Yep.
And the way dual wielding works in Dark Souls, at least as far as I remember, is that any resin you have will be afflicted 1.5 times. Any damage is like 1.5 times damage, so your scaling is a little bit better. Any stagger is inflicted by that, which makes it so that we can build up bleed a lot faster, we can stagger the bosses, and it just makes things a lot more comfy. All right, we've got some time for a donation or 2 or 3, probably.
All right. We have $150 from Anonymous saying, first-time donator. I had to donate during the Dark Souls 3 run. Get good or get wrecked. Sleepyhead donates $200 saying, more games, please. Also, Belgium says hi.
Hey, Belgium.
We have $250 from Brandon84 saying, thanks everyone for all your hard work for a great cause. Thank you, Brandon. And then we have an anonymous $375 donation saying, long-time watcher, first-time donor, hoping for that Breath of the Wild run while enjoying Dark Souls.
Thank you very much.
Great donation. We got time for one more.
All right. We have $150 from Ryan Henyard saying, greetings from Michigan. SGDQ is always special because it provides a great way to introduce friends, coworkers, and family to what our wonderful community can do. Thank you to all the staff and volunteers who make sure the event is safe and welcoming for all.
All right, so you may notice I've equipped that dagger we bought at the beginning of the game. I'm sure one person remembered we bought that.
Hopefully
anyway,
it was me.
I hope it was you. Anyway, the reason we've got that dagger is for its weapon art. Normally, when you're in muck like this, you can't run, and any rolls will be like fat rolls, but the quick step weapon art allows us to just kind of cruise our way through it. Mr. Giant, are you going to attack me? Oh, there it is.
On that ring that you just got up there, is kind of like the opposite of the red tearstone ring?
Yeah, very similar to that. The Lloyd Sword Ring gives us 10% damage if we're at full health. So, very much like the red tearstone ring's opposite. Mm-hmm. Also, it gives us this nifty red glow, so we always know if we're at high enough health for it.
It gives him a really good excuse to heal and make it look like he's not scared.
Exactly. Also, I'm not scared of anything, please.
Oh, yeah, it's easy.
Easy every time.
Now, if you saw when we killed the first enemies with these weapons, these guys are just going to get torn down.
So, yeah, would you like to explain how this boss works?
So, the Deacon is more like this energy that flies around between enemies, and you have to keep on killing the red dude right there, and then when he dies, it'll go into someone else. And then eventually, when the health bar gets to a certain amount, the real Deacon will pop up from the ground, and then once you kill him, that's the whole boss. But there's a few different variants of the enemies in here. There's the fatties and the normal dudes mainly, and the tall guys.
That was some terrible RNG. It spawned behind the coffin. What the heck? Oh, by the way, that was the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that fight is like a big race against the clock because eventually you'll get cursed and it's really hard to fight against it, so you gotta act quick. And you don't even have to, you can take like 2 more minutes on that fight and still be okay, but casually that is a huge hump to go over.
Yeah, that fight can be a little tricky because, I mean, even in the run, even with this weapon that just tears them apart, once in a while, once in a blue moon, they all just stagger their attacks on you and you can't move and you get destroyed. It's a very bad time. Anyway, welcome to Irithyll. This is like the most beautiful looking place in Dark Souls 3, in my opinion. It looks very Bloodborne-ish in a way.
We're gonna walk through it this time.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, you can see the Great Filter. It does have one minor problem. Since it's so similar to Bloodborne, it happens to have a Bloodborne boss in it for some reason. I'm gonna, you know, we're just gonna get rid of him. Goodbye. So for anyone that's had trouble with Bridge Dog there, I know I did. I hope that felt good for you watching him die. It does for me. We killed him for the ring that he drops, Pontiff's Right Eye. The way that that works is after you do a certain number of consecutive attacks, the ring will activate and it'll give you a damage boost. I'm not sure the exact number, but it works really well with a weapon that hits twice when you swing. Bad Pontiff Knight. These guys are the worst.
Yeah.
These guys are terrifying.
They're really fast.
All right, so I know I said Irithyll's a really pretty area, and I know you guys would love to look at it, but we're going to take a minor shortcut through it, and we're going to save just a tiny bit of time. But luckily, FromSoft was kind enough to leave a shortcut in the game for going through Irithyll.
Yeah, this jump's so tight.
A little early. This is a super tight jump. Every trick in Dark Souls 3 is like really, really accurate.
Yeah.
So welcome to the developer-intended route through Irithyll.
Yep.
FromSoft just loves that this exists.
It's canon.
It looks beautiful, too. And we're done with Irithyll. I hope everyone took some pictures. And we are on our journey to the next boss, so feel free to read a couple of donations.
Absolutely. We have $50 from Nista saying, I've only ever finished Dark Souls 1 after many, many deaths, but watching you use gravity has inspired me to try out Dark Souls 3 now. Good luck with the rest of the run. We have an anonymous $500 donation with no comment.
Woo! Good donation.
Thank you.
And we have $2 from Jen Victual 130. I'm not sure if I butchered that or not. Saying, SGDQ, thank you for all you do. I had the stream running nonstop all week as the best way to celebrate my birthday week.
All right, so coming up here is, well, it's just not a good place. This place sucks. We're about to get mauled by a lot of enemies. And I accidentally threw that other alluring skull I had, but don't worry. Don't worry, I'm fine.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Go away, please, dogs. Okay. Jeez. So for anyone that doesn't know, we just ran by 5 dogs and 4 mages. It's a tiny, tiny little bit of enemies that can kill you really easily. Dark Souls 3 loves that. They love just shoving a bunch of enemies together and laughing at you when you die.
I just wanted to interject a relevant donation worth $1,000 from an anonymous.
Ooh, dang.
Saying, look at that dog.
Look at that dog.
All right. Our next boss here is Pontiff Sullivan. He is, well, he's a casual player slayer. He really is.
Here comes that shield.
Here comes that shield, yeah. Unfortunately for him, I'm slightly less than casual. I've played the game once or twice. You know, I liked it the first time so much, let's do it again.
Bye, Pontiff.
Hey. That was a good Pontiff.
Yeah, that's one of those bosses, again, that takes many tries casually. And
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, this is where you just, the not like this, my childhood.
No, for anyone that's died to Pontiff 300 times like I did, I hope that felt good for you as much as it felt good for me. I love watching him get destroyed. So, we're about to go through a place that, if you played Dark Souls 1, you might recognize it just a tiny bit. No, actually, my equipment's fine. Anyway, right up these stairs. Man, I started my sentence too early. My timing's off. Oh, no.
Man.
All right, so we're going to run up these flying buttresses, and you might see some of these Silver Knights shooting giant arrows at me.
They got a few more since last time.
So, as you may know, this is that famous Dark Souls area. This is the Darkroot Garden.
Blighttown.
Oh, close, close. I'm glad we're on the same page for that terrible joke that nobody laughed at. I love that joke. I'm glad no one laughed at it. All right, so I cast Spook there to make sure those guys didn't attack me. Their Spook is good because it masks your walking. So if you're behind someone, they don't really know you're there, and they just kind of stand there,
Yeah.
and they look silly.
In Dark Souls 1, there were the two spells. There was just fall control, and then there was the silent footstep one. I forget the
Hush.
name of that. Hush,
Yeah.
yeah. Never use it, so you don't remember the name. But
Exactly.
the Spook just combines the two. It's super useful.
The bad part is Spook lasts like 3 seconds, when in Dark Souls 1, fall control lasts, I think the last time I cast it is still going 3 years ago, something like
Yeah.
that. Anyway, earlier I picked up the Easterner's Ashes. I kind of glanced over that, but those will allow me to buy large Titanite shards to upgrade my weapon even further. And we have some time for some donations while we're on this elevator.
All right, we have a $10 donation from Sadie the dog. I'm a dog, so I don't know what is happening, but my family has been watching SGDQ for days now. Thank you for making them happy. And Cyclops Boy donates $1,000.
Cyclops Boy,
Whoa.
thank you.
Clap for that one.
Saying longtime watcher, longtime donator. Dark Souls 3 has been a massive part of the speedrunning community since it came out, so I just had to donate during this run. Shoutouts to Shoutouts and Bubbles on the Couch.
Yo, what's up, man?
Put all this to the Breath of the Wild.
What's the progress on Breath of the Wild now, Strav?
We are just a little over 2,000 away from meeting it.
Ooh, nice.
It's very close.
That's one hot D
We're
away.
going to get it. One more good donation. All right, so we are right next to the next boss. So since we're in a Dark Souls 1 area, we're going to face a Dark Souls 1 boss. For the most part, at least.
Yeah, for a portion of the body, it is the same boss.
Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get our setup before we go in here. So this is Aldrich, Devourer of Gods, or at least the bottom little worm part of him is Aldrich.
Yeah.
The top part is actually Gwendolyn, who was a boss in Dark Souls 1.
This fight can actually kind of suck, so...
It definitely can, but it won't. It's fine. Gwendolyn he's my friend. Anyway, he likes to teleport all around phase 2. All right, cool. So when attacking him, hitting him in the Gwendolyn here does a little bit more damage, so we're able to take him down pretty quick. We only got one teleport. That was a really good fight.
Yeah, you can get super screwed. You go right in the corner, and there can be the rain of arrows.
That's one attack that we never want to see him do. If, in phase 2 at least, if he does an arrow attack, he'll fire a bunch of magic arrows up into the sky, and they chase you for 10 to 15 seconds. And if you get caught in them, they kill you in about a nanosecond, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
An entire nano of a second.
That might be too long, actually. It's faster than that. All right, so we're running out of places to go. We went up, and now we're going down to our next boss, which will be Yorm the Giant. And for the time being, we have time for, I think, 2 donations. Yeah.
Well, yeah, until we use this item here. But yeah, we got time for 1 or 2, yeah.
All right. $200 from Dr. Aisha235, saying, running through areas and not fighting enemies was always my main Dark Souls strategy, so I'll pretend that I was just intentionally speedrunning the whole time instead of fleeing in constant panic. Thanks for another awesome GDQ. And then $200 from Pearl L, saying, thank you for all this awesome week. I had not many hours of sleep this last week, but it was all worth it.
It's always worth it for GDQ. I've always enjoyed it. So these are the Croquills. When you combine them with Spook, you become unkillable during a fall. Thanks, Dark Souls. That is the best glitch ever.
It's super cool. The animation for it, and as long as the animation is has started before you got off the cliff, then you're still doing it when you're landing technically, and it won't hurt.
The best part is it's super easy. All you have to do is spam L2.
Yep.
So I hope you guys liked watching me jump off a large area and spamming L2 before, because we're going to do it in one more moment.
Oh, we need that stretch out gesture.
The stretch out gesture is great. That's Gilligan from Dark Souls 2 or something like that, I think. The guy you get that stretch out gesture from. But mainly I grabbed the Undead Bone Shard, because I'd like my Estus to be a +1 at least.
Mm-hmm. This fire sucks so much.
Yeah, it can hit you when you think it's not going to. It's rough sometimes. All right, so I'm going to equip slightly less equip load, because we're going to grab another weapon. I hope everyone's excited for another sword.
This one is specifically for Yorm. Oh, and we've seen this one before.
Hey, it's Yorm the Giant. So this guy looks intimidating, but he's actually probably one of the easiest bosses in the speedrun, unless bad luck happens. Anyway, shoutouts to Demon Souls. We got the Storm Ruler. Yorm, what are you doing? Sir, that's a pillar. That is not me.
Yeah, you definitely don't want Yorm to do weird stuff, because...
Yeah, when Yorm does weird stuff, it becomes hard to tell what I should do to fight him. So when he got locked on that pillar, that was odd. All right, so the main thing we want to do is bait out that little slam attack.
Headshot.
Because it lets you do that to him. And Yorm's actually the only enemy in the entire game that this giant wind blast works on. You'd think it would work on, you know, a peasant or something like that. Nope, just Yorm. Anyway, by walking like this, we're able to bait out that attack and give us time to charge up for another weapon art. That was close. If he would have been able to get further into that animation, he might have... Yorm is really weird, and sometimes even when you hit him with the weapon art, somehow he doesn't get hit by the weapon art. Would you calm down? Jeez.
Bye, Yorm.
All right, let's munch on a soul while we've got the time. Delicious. All right, so we may have finished one boss, but we're going right into another. We're being automatically teleported to the next boss arena, which, well, we've seen it before.
Yeah, when you, after a certain number of bosses, you get teleported right here directly where you fight Dancer. And then Dancer will lead you to the following area again. And that's really nice to abuse, so you don't have to use a homeward bone or anything.
Yep. Specifically, it's after you kill the other Lords of Cinder.
Yeah, Lords of Cinder.
Yorm, the Abyss Watchers, and Aldrich. So this is Dancer. She is one of the tougher bosses in the game. So I'm going to be extra careful not to get grabbed, because that grab will kill me in one hit. All right. Phase 2, Beyblade, let her rip! Oh, I love it. I love Phase 2.
She's just fidgeting around.
So normally I would be right inside of that spin to kill her during it, but I wanted to be a little bit safe. And hey, that was a perfect answer.
Yeah.
How lovely.
Hey, it's Lothar Castle.
Yep, Lothar Castle leads us to the end of the game, but we're only maybe halfway through all the bosses. We've got quite a few more to finish off. And I've been debating with myself whether or not I would do a Peach strat. And for anyone that doesn't know, Peach means you are a failure and you are taking the safe way out. I'm a failure in taking the safe way out. I'm going to teleport back to the Firelink Shrine and use a few of these souls. So in the meantime, let's have a donation or two to distract from my horrible failure.
All right, I just want to say that we have met the Zelda Breath of the Wild donation incentive. That took no time at all.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming, yeah.
And we have $150 from Anonymous with a comment saying no comment.
My brain.
Yeah, it's getting some health and endurance.
Mainly, I just want to use these souls. Because the next boss coming up is actually very, very dangerous and RNG-based. And no matter how good you are, you will die to this boss if you're a little bit unlucky. Also, the game's going to crash. So that'll be fun. Well, nobody's going to question that? Okay, fine. I'll explain it anyway.
And it's going to be your fault,
The game's going to crash because Dark Souls 3 is very well programmed. And for some reason, when the DLCs got added, when you go through the game fast enough, I don't know if it's like a memory leak or what it is, but the game will eventually come to a point where maybe it didn't deload the DLC stuff properly or whatever, but it's going to crash soon enough. I grabbed that Estus shard so we could have just another hit of Estus later. We're going to grab that chunk so we can upgrade a little bit more. Oh, by the way, this area is like super dangerous because of these guys. Those weird snake monster guys. Because one of them can knock you down and then another can come over while you're knocked down and just be ready to hit you down again. And I've been volleyballed between them to death a few times before. Hey, there we go. Dark Souls 3 has stopped working. We did it! Surprisingly enough, Windows did not find an answer to the problem. All right, we're good. It closed. So whenever Dark Souls crashes, it gets real angry at me, and it has to write in its diary about all the bad things I did to it. So we got a minute for a donation or two.
All right. $200 from Duct Tape saying, the Dark Souls 3 speedrun has taught me that I've been playing the game wrong since the beginning. We have a $200 donation from Corey T with no comment. And we have a $15 donation from Dockney. I think I pronounced that right. I had to donate for my first time during my favorite game ever right now, Dark Souls 3. This game took me 100 hours to finish on my first playthrough, and seeing ThorW completely destroy this game in 1 hour or so blows my mind. Good luck, Thor, and all the other runners here to Breath of the Wild. P.S. Your knitting deserves a big round of applause.
Hey. So, while I was running to this area, I was specifically pausing at certain areas because anytime you pause and unpause the game, it'll save your position, so we didn't have a very long to go. This is Osiris, the worst boss in the game. Oh, I'm sorry, the Consumed King. I read that wrong.
It has the best dialogue among any boss, probably.
That's true. Anyway, he's going to vape really hard. Look at that dank vape.
We get it, Osiris.
Ah, come on. I'm surprised we're still in Phase 1. Transform. There we go. So, Phase 2 is when Osiris becomes the worst. Ocelot! He's gonna charge. Okay. So, he has an attack we affectionately call the instant charge, that he can do at any time. It has no startup. His entire body is the hitbox. It does a lot of damage, and it can just come out of nowhere. Oh, nice.
Got that Okami spin.
Come on. There we go. Wonderful. Whew. I gotta tell you, that is the boss I was dreading the most, because even earlier today in practice, when I was doing a little bit of boss practice, Osiris went into phase 2, stared me in the face, and decided to charge at me 7 times in a row and ruin my life. Glad he didn't do it here. That was very nice of him. All right, so we're going to grab this gesture. It's going to allow us to go places, magic places. Whoops. All right, we've got time for another couple donations while we just warp around.
All right, we have $10 from Emily Nyan. Yo, Thor, Emily here.
Hey.
I couldn't resist donating. There's thousands of messages waiting for you when you get back from your run. Make sure Friday gets back to Bloodborne. Half this donation goes to Runner's Choice, half to Bubbles' Choice. We have $150 from Anonymous saying, I just want the Sunlight Metal Coin, but may as well enter for everything. Shoutouts to shoutouts.
Yo, sup, shoutouts.
Shoutouts is awesome.
We have $200 from Anonymous saying, I've watched a ton of GDQ footage on YouTube, but this is my first time catching it live. Very excited to tune in just in time for Dark Souls 3 All Bosses run. Praise the sun.
Hey, praise the sun.
See some, let's see, was it backslash lowercase o / in the chat? Let's praise the sun.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's got the arms up in the air.
Anyway, we're going to take a break. This run's hard. Oh, never mind. I guess we're going places. So specifically, that gesture, the Path of the Dragon after Osiris, teleports us to this next secret area in the game. And you do actually get really good hints that this is a place you can go. You get that enemy out there that leads you here. And welcome to Archdragon Peak. This is the home of my favorite NPC, by the way, Untextured Rock. Hello, Untextured Rock. Yeah, clap for Untextured Rock. I love Untextured Rock.
Must be friends with Untextured Door near Wolner.
Exactly. Untextured Rock gives me the strength to go on in this dark and brooding world.
Yeah, because this area tends to drag on.
Oh, was that a pun?
Yes.
God. All right, time for our next boss. So this boss is a kind of large dragon. I mean a wyvern. It's totally a dragon, though. Anyway, normally you have to run through a huge gauntlet of enemies in a big area and stuff, but despite the fact that he has all this health and everything, I'm going to kill him in one attack.
All right.
Easy peasy.
That saves like well over a minute.
Oh, yes, definitely. Also, I don't have to say hi to Chain Snake, who usually kills runs. Anyway, the way that works for anyone that might be wondering, like, wait, that's not supposed to work. You're right. That boss dies in a plunging attack. I mean, you get like a bunch of developer hints across the boss area that you can run through. And eventually it leads to an area above his head that you can jump off of and hit him with a plunging attack. But he moves around while you do that, and it's possible to miss him. So the way that they programmed it was they gave it a really big area above his head, really generous area that will just kind of teleport you on top of him. Because if you miss that attack, I mean, you fall all the way down and you die, and then you have to run through the whole place again, and they were kind enough to say that feels really bad. Unfortunately, that also means if you get just a tiny bit above his head with certain jumping attacks, like one with a short sword, it'll latch you right onto it and count as a plunging attack. Also, hey, it's the boss again. Magical. Weird how they just reused the boss. It like just a short run from the boss arena. All right, so we've got just a bit more running to do, so I think now's a great time for more donations.
All right, we have $200 from Anonymous saying, "Thank you for showing me how to play Dark Souls the right way. Praise the sun." We have $500 from Anonymous again.
Hey.
Saying, "Loving the Dark Souls run and commentary."
Anonymous has deep pockets, dang.
He's got another $200 saying, "Praise the sun."
Oh, good, he ran off the edge. How nice. So we just picked up the Dragon Chaser's Ashes. This is going to let me buy Titanite chunks. And now that we have a bunch of souls, I think you have an idea of where we're going. Let's go ahead and sell all this. We're gonna, and this is our final upgrade point. Oh, whoops. What am I doing? Buy the stuff. I might need to buy them first. And, you know, just a couple Carthus Rouge, you know, 21.
21.
All right. So we're going to +9 this. We don't get a slab to +10 it, even though we could in Archdragon Peak, because honestly, it's not worth it. The amount of time it takes to go run past Havel the Rock and grab the slab and everything like that doesn't quite save as much time as you would think it would. So we're fine with a +9 weapon. And now it's time to go to a lot of people's favorite boss to watch being speedrun. Please parry me, Gundyr.
Shield coming in handy again.
Yeah, once more that starting shield.
It's got that slower animation, and it's good because you start off with a rapier as well, and they typically intend for that character to be a very parry-focused and like a striker kind of enemy, or I mean, class.
Right. So you might notice this place looks a tiny, itsy-bitsy familiar if you remember, I don't know, an hour ago, something close to that.
So this is Dark Souls 3. This is ThorW.
Hey, welcome to the run.
And we are going up against Iotix Gundyr here.
Yep. So it's just a tiny bit darker, though. Anyway, this is Untended Graves. I believe it's supposed to be... Ow, come on now. Why you gotta hit me like that? I believe it's supposed to be like in the past, before Gundyr got corrupted by the Abyss. Anyway, he's going to get parried once or twice or, you know, however many times it takes. Sir, please.
Here he comes. Oh.
Hey! So the strategy there is actually super precise to make sure that he doesn't get a chance to actually do much of anything in Phase 2. Because Champion Gundyr in Phase 2 is terrifying to fight. He is really fast, and he never stops attacking, ever. Ever. So luckily, we set it up specifically so that once he enters Phase 2, he's already almost dead, and with one more bleed proc after a parry like I got, he is finished off. So we're back in Irithyll, because our next boss is Old Demon King. But Thor, wait, Old Demon King's down in the Scorched Lake. I know, but Irithyll is the path to victory. Okay, please. Sir! Why? Why? Okay, I'm getting just a tiny bit wrecked. Please. Yeah. All right. Jeez! This guy's a pro! Wow. That was some amazing play by him. I mean, never before have I seen that. Anyway.
There we go, yeah.
As you may recall down here.
Almost done.
We saw a couple of things earlier, and that red glow means that somebody is at home. Specifically, Old Demon King. Oh, I forgot to equip this. Oh well, we're good. So Old Demon King, we're going to... Oh, everything's laggy. We're going to be using Pale Pine Resin because he can't be bled, because he's like made of rock or something, even though you clearly see blood coming out of him when I attack. We got a little bit unlucky there, and he actually started with a very quick fire attack and got an attack off. But hey, we did it.
Together.
Together. So hey, we've got time for a donation or two while we run to the next boss.
We have $1,000 from Flying Jester.
Hey!
Saying, greetings from Alaskan. Hype for the Majora's Mask run. Blue dog is best dog. And you also got a $10 donation from Untextured Block. Saying, hello, Thor. How nice of you to stop by.
I love you, Untextured Rock. What are you doing?
I've never seen him drop that way.
Yeah, neither have I.
Yeah. He got nervous. There's so many people watching.
I guess so. Or maybe he wanted to be seen.
Yeah. Now we're talking about him, and he already won.
I guess so. Anyway, we're going to do a magic trick, and we're going to make this fire disappear. I know it might have sounded like I got hit, but don't worry about it. It's fine. So we're actually running to my personal favorite boss of Dark Souls 3. We're running to Dragon Slayer armor. And he, just like old Demon King, he doesn't have flesh and blood. So I should really equip this pale pine resin. Glad I reminded myself of that. We got time for one more donation real quick.
We have $5 again from Untextured Rock saying, I love you too, Thor.
Untextured Rock is my rock. He's the best.
We have another $150 from Real BK saying, praise the puns.
All right, so pale pine resin for this guy again. I really love Dragon Slayer armor because he's just a big suit of armor with a big weapon and a shield. And cool electricity.
Yeah, this boss is super badass.
Oh, don't hit me. Hey, good fight. So we didn't really get to see it, but once Phase 2 starts, outside of the arena, there are these two really big, they're called pilgrim butterflies. And they sit outside the arena and shoot lots of magic at you while you fight the guy, which is really, really cool of them. Glad they didn't get a chance to do anything.
Dude, sick menuing.
The best. Anyway, we've got time for a couple donations. This is a pretty long run to the next boss.
All right, we have $150 from an Anonymous simply saying, hi.
Hi, Anonymous.
And we have a $5,000 donation from
Yo!
Edward von Stein. He says one more donation to enter the race for some Dark Souls loot. And since we're dealing with the game about the undead and shattering the player's hopes and dreams, let's have this fate happen to be the party in Earthbound with a Shattered Man glitch. Oh, and of course, praise the sun. We have $50 from an Anonymous saying, delightful and witty comment commending the event and the runners. Something about praising of the suns.
That was a delightfully witty comment. Good job.
And we have $20 from Lexi50 saying, Thor got so good that the game crashed. I've never seen Dark Souls give up in frustration before. Praise the sun and praise the runners.
So when his game crashes, he's good. Oh, I see how it is.
Yeah, that's how it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a double standard.
Yeah.
More donations.
All right. And we have $200 from Asmunder Gunderson. I think I got that right. Saying another great GDQ event. Huge thanks to everyone who helps makes these happen. Donation goes to Runner's Choice. $150 from an Anonymous, again saying praise the sun.
So much sun praising today.
So much sun praising.
Yeah.
$100 from Best Coach Korea 46, also saying, praise the sun, and all the people behind the scenes and the runners who made this possible. Smiley face.
I agree. Can we get some claps for the guys behind the scenes that got all this working?
The power-up audio, the hosts, the interviewers.
The couch commentary. Oh, that's you.
That's me.
Anyway, we're coming up to the last little bit of this run to the next boss. I activated an elevator back there just in case, but we'll be fine. I've never died to this boss before. Never. And this is actually a pretty Demon Souls-esque area, so shout-outs to that game again.
Yeah. This is kind of like where the Penetrator would be almost.
Yeah, very similar, actually. And again, I'm quitting out at the door. Normally, you don't want to do that on real time, but the thing about when you're opening a door in Dark Souls, sometimes the enemies will be right behind you and attacking. They can actually clip through you during the door opening and be on the other side of the door, and then you're surrounded, and you usually die. All right, time for our next boss.
So Princess can start off with two different forms of an attack. It's either an overhead or a slow swing. All right, that's the good attack.
So, ow.
Yeah.
Really? Huh.
It's hard to know when the overhead's coming after he teleports because the teleport has like this beam of light and you can't really see the vertical sword.
We're going to take this just a little bit safe since I started off getting hit.
Yeah, you're super strong in this fight, so...
Ooh. Sir, have some cooldown on your animations there. So I'm not doing a very good fight here at all.
It's okay.
He just punctuated that. Normally, the way this works is you circle strafe behind him. Oh, come on, the bad attack? Jeez, he does not want to let up.
The good news is second phase sucks.
Oh no, second phase is fine.
Oh my god.
What? I had to make the run exciting with that jump.
So you have to attack both at the same time, and that's only possible in the back.
Well, the way this works is Lothric, the younger prince, is now sitting on Lorien's back. As long as Lothric is in this fight, which is for the rest of it, anytime Lorien dies, Lothric will revive him immediately. So we need to take care of Lothric for Lorien to be done. Come on now. Normally you don't do this fight locked on, but it's just a little bit safer to be locked on.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, that was not the best, but hey, we got it. We got it. We even have time to have a soul snack. At least I didn't die. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That boss is one of the harder ones to get used to in the speed run. We're gonna do a quick little level up and move on to well, everyone who's played this game is surely excited for this boss. We're moving on to Nameless King.
Oh, ooh, like the coolest boss in the game for sure. Definitely
one of the coolest bosses in the game. For a long time, everyone said that this is the hardest boss in Dark Souls 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and say no. Yeah. Just to be cool.
Definitely not the easiest, but I guess you'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. It's gonna go perfect.
He also vapes.
Yeah, he vapes the entire Archdragon Peak.
Yeah, he rips the fattest vape.
Look at that. He also comes in on a chicken dragon. He's a chicken dragon because look at the dragon's legs. They are so talony and chickeny. So this is Camera Boss, Phase 1.
It's everyone's favorite Dark Souls boss.
It can be really hard to tell if I'm going to hit him with a swing or not.
Yeah, like, those all just went right through.
Yep. Come on. Well. So I'm specifically attacking the beak of the dragon because with enough attacks onto the beak, the dragon will get staggered. Unfortunately, we got that really bad, really slow attack. It's my fault for missing attacks. Hey, there we go. All right, now we're going to stab his eye. Gross.
All right, now phase 2.
All right, phase 1 is done. Time for the real fight. Whoops. I did that intentionally. I'm seeding RNG.
Yep.
So he's actually, Nameless King is actually a very fair boss in a lot of ways. His attacks all have quite a bit of startup to them, except for one specific one, that one. She doesn't do too often.
Yeah, a lot of bosses in this game, you don't know when they're going to do a follow-up until you get hit.
And you can see anytime his health takes a big chunk off, that's our bleed proc, like that one. Bleed procs make these bosses go down a lot faster than any other strategy. So that was a pretty good fight. Only took one hit. We're going to do one last level up because we're about to go to the DLC. We're at the last leg of the run. And the DLC bosses are just a tiny bit difficult. Well, one of them is. The other one's kind of a joke. I'll leave it to you to decide which is which. So for the time being, we've got time for, I'd say, 2 donations before I need to explain stuff.
All right, we have $25 from Mr. Mars, simply saying, "That's my boy Thor."
Hey.
And we have $10 from Untextured Door. For all this love for Untextured Rock, I feel neglected.
I'm sorry, Untextured Door. We didn't get to see you properly.
I remembered you.
It's true. So, like I said, we're going to go down to this gross stuff. And I'm equipping the crow quills. I hope everyone's excited.
It sounds like it.
This is actually my favorite crow quills use right here, because we're going to jump very far on this one. So the boss is right down there. How far down there? All the way down there. So okay, we hit that branch.
All right.
That's always fun. So anytime you do that, you kind of break the game, and the dogs there take a moment to spawn in. There's one more dog. There he is.
Goodbye, dogs.
Rip. Rip Frankerzy. So the strategy for fighting Champion's Gravetender is actually pretty nuanced. I lock onto him and I spam L1 until he stops moving.
That's Dark Souls 3.
Ow. Ooh.
Not even close.
Nah. However, I would appreciate if he wouldn't roll so much. Okay, here's the other boss, because we gotta have 2 bosses. Sif! What's up, dude?
He's missing his toothpick.
His fur's kind of dirty. Goodbye, Sif.
All right, good job.
I'm actually really surprised that the Great Wolf there didn't do some different attacks. Usually he likes to charge at you, maybe do a big uppercut strike with his head, but he was really tame that time. I'm a little disappointed, actually. All right, it's time to fight the hardest boss in the run, in my opinion. Oh, look,
Oh, yeah.
a big square. I wonder if this is a boss arena. Oh, look, a giant thing. So yeah, time to fight the hard boss. Not that guy. This young lady here, Sister Frida. Maria from Bloodborne. Hi, Maria. What's up? So, anytime she puts her scythe behind her head like that, she actually will tend to try to counterattack you when you go for a hit, and she'll swing it darn near perfect timing anytime that she's like that, or she'll just poise right through it. You know, she's wearing robes. She's got poise. All right, good phase 1. So, you know, Ornstein and Smo here. So this guy's really mad about something. I think he thinks I want to take his soup bowl, but not really. All right, really good phase 2.
Yeah.
We did it. The boss is dead. Kinda. I mean, usually the boss is dead, but I mean, we've got some dialogue to go through. And a zombie to kill. So someone at FromSoft had the awesome idea to make anime. Look at that. And specifically to make a 3-phase boss. And Sister Frida in phase 3 is a very difficult boss to do properly. All right, she's going to go ahead and shoot some ice at me. I'll just let it happen.
You activated her trap card.
Because I get a free backstab when she does that.
Yeah.
So why not? Are we going to have any 7-hit combos? No, we're just going to have more ice. And more backstabs. I love backstabs. So that was a really good fight. That was actually an incredibly good fight.
Yeah.
She was really nice to me.
Compliments the good run.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so we're heading towards the last boss now. So we need to offer the cinders of the Lord onto every one of these empty thrones, because that's what the whole journey has been about. We have to go kill the Lords of Cinder and then take their heads, souls, their cinders. I don't know. It's convoluted.
There's like a bit of an animation cancel you can get here if you can place it as you're falling, similar to the Gold Pine resin pickup way earlier in the run.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a little difficult.
Oh,
We
you
got
go.
that one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Saved like 3 seconds or so.
Yeah, it saves a few seconds. All right, time to teleport to the last area. And it's actually interesting. If I use a homeward bone here, it's going to teleport me not back to the last bonfire I used, but to the next bonfire. Neat. All right, we have time for one good donation.
All right, we have $150 from Anonymous saying, "Great to see a game that has broken me be broken instead. Feels good, man."
Yeah, Anonymous, I agree entirely. So this is the Kiln of the First Flame. Looks a little different than it did in Dark Souls 1. But this is where we're going to fight the last boss. And the last boss, the Soul of Cinder, is actually really cool. He is the combination of everyone that's ever linked the flame in Phase 1. Which means that he is able to use multiple different weapons and weapon stances and stuff. He always starts with this sword. Hopefully he won't change to the curved sword or anything. Ooh, the double.
Yeah, this time you guys get to see that he attacks.
This boss, I like to call him the soul of input reading, because what I'm doing is I'm manipulating his AI just a little bit by holding different directions. When he goes to decide what to do, generally I hold back, and it keeps him from doing the up-close attacks like that. Curved sword's not going to get a chance. No.
Yeah.
No. All right, very good. Very good.
Yeah, that dex phase is terrible.
All right, so chat, please throw some Bible thumps in chat, because it's Gwyn. It's Gwyn. My Dark Souls 1 memories.
Yeah, it's kind of a tighter roll than it looks like there.
Let's just be a little safe with the heal.
Yeah.
This guy could have killed me in like one more good hit, but we are done. We did it. Never mind. He decided to rebuke that mark there.
Okay. Okay.
We did.
Stretch out. Stretch out.
Oh no, but we can do this. Take me to the top. Oh, it didn't take me to the top.
And that's time.
Well, actually, time comes just a little
Are you
later.
going to quit out first?
Yeah, we have to do a quit out
okay.
first.
You want to do that?
Which means just a moment longer. Really anticlimactic time.
Yeah. Solid run. Is that
Pretty
Deathless?
solid. That's not bad, actually. Yeah, that was Deathless.
Deathless Dark Souls 3 run.
Deathless Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, give it up for him again. That was really, really good, yeah.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. Dark Souls 3.
The hardest game ever made.
Ever.
Ever. This is the Dark Souls 3 of the Dark Souls games.
What was my final time, by the way?
It was 1:27:47.
Oh, wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, I want to give a couple shout-outs. First off, shout-out to all the people that calmed down my nerves before this run. I was a bundle of nerves. I'm still shaking. They gave me a lot of words of encouragement, the Speed Souls community, my Twitch chat, all those guys. Thank you so much. Shout-outs to my family for supporting me in what I do. And shout-outs to the GDQ staff for having me here and helping me set up everything. I had a great time being here. That was Dark Souls 3, everybody.
All right, and thank you, Thor, for giving me that very entertaining Dark Souls 3 run. Coming out next, we do have an interview with Orchestra concerning the Breath of the Wild run that's going to be later. That donation incentive, again, was met. You will be seeing a Breath of the Wild run later. But there is an interview coming up shortly. And after that interview, we'll have the next Dark Souls run by Bubbles Del Fuego himself. We have $30 from Maxime Vignard. I probably butchered that completely, apologies, but saying, "Hi, I am a nurse and I love both video games and speedrunning, so I obviously had to donate during GDQ. And when one of my favorite games is playing, it's even better. Thanks for making this week possible. Love from France and good luck to everybody." We have a $150 donation from Dinosaur saying, "Sir, please." We have a $200 donation from thanks to all, well, that's the comment. $200 donation was actually from Games Deem. The comment was, "Thanks to all the hard work from the runners, commentators, and staff putting together such an amazing event. Praise the Sunny Games done quick." We have $150 from Ochapa saying, "This is my second year watching GDQ. Had to donate during the game that I have a love-hate relationship with. Thank you, announcers and runners, for your continued support to Doctors Without Borders. Donation split 50% between announcers and the runner." All right, and we are ready to have our interview between Proto Magical Girl and Orchestra. Throwing it over to them now.
Hello, Summer Games Done Quick 2017. I'm Proto Magical Girl, and I'm here with the runner who is going to be running the Breath of the Wild Orchestra. Now, Orca, they announced the incentive for Breath of the Wild at $100,000 last night.
Yeah.
I just checked the stat before this interview. It already got met.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
How like... I figured I was going to be spending this interview trying to, like, sell out, but...
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I think I checked it a couple hours ago, and it was around, like, 30,000 or so. So everyone did a really good job.
Yeah, it's really, really amazing. So I'm curious, do you think being a bonus game, and especially being such like a high par bonus game for like that much money, do you think that adds pressure to the run, like to perform?
A little bit. You definitely don't want to put out a poor run when people put out so much money for it to be displayed. But I'm confident I can do a good job. So, yeah.
For sure, for sure. So people have talked a lot about Breath of the Wild as a speedrun. We talked about it during the pre-show. It's been like the topic of news articles and stuff. When a game is like sensationalized that much, does that weigh on like the run, or does the run still kind of, is it still just kind of the run, you know, kind of despite all that?
Yeah, the latter. I sort of see it as still like the run.
Yeah, I'm just gotta focus on speedrun. That's good. So I do have one question for you, and this has been like kind of a controversy with Breath of the Wild. These things right here, amiibo. So a lot of people have weighed their opinion on whether amiibo should and shouldn't be used. Now, you're a runner who uses amiibo.
Correct.
So I really want to hear from you to me, the be-all, end-all with something being allowed or not allowed in a speedrun is whether or not it makes the run enjoyable and interesting.
Yeah.
What does amiibo bring to the run that you think makes it worth using?
So there's two main amiibos used in speedruns. There's the Twilight Princess Link amiibo, either the Smash one or the Zelda series one, which gives you an Epona, which is a really fast horse. You can spawn it pretty much anywhere. That's really useful. And then the other one is this Guardian amiibo, which gives you boxes that you can spawn anywhere. And they're really useful. They definitely make the run more interesting, in my opinion, having that sort of freedom to bring that wherever you are. It's unfortunate that obviously not everybody has access to them, but I think the most popular category right now is all dungeons, and in that category it only saves a couple minutes, so even if you don't have it, you're not missing out on too much. There aren't like routes that are just sort of created entirely around amiibo or stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I personally think they're a really cool addition to the run that just add another layer of complexity. And so you use like the NFC cards for them, right? Like you don't have the physical amiibo.
Yeah, I own all the amiibo, like the Guardian amiibo and the Twilight Princess Link amiibo. But for the sake of convenience, I have little NFC chips that sort of mimic the functionality.
Okay, nice. So, big question, like specifically you talked about the horse, so you can get Epona, so what would you do in a run instead if you didn't have that?
So for 90%, with Epona, you just sort of ride her across Hyrule Field from the Great Plateau to Howard Castle, and that's it. If you want to go from the Great Plateau to Howard Castle without an amiibo, you basically launch trees into your back and fly into the air. It's about 15 to 20 seconds slower, I believe, and a little more complex, but it's nothing too crazy that anyone can't learn.
For sure. So one thing that was a big deal with this game for GDQ is it came out like 2 days before submissions open, and y'all had like a week to submit it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people talked about like, well, okay, if they bring it to GDQ, it's just going to be a shoe-in run. It's not going to be very interesting. And I've been seeing a lot of really cool evolution. So tell me a little bit about how the run has evolved from then until now, and what it really brings to the table as a speed run, despite having been optimized for such a short time.
Sure. So when the game first came out, routes were changing left and right. We weren't sure how we wanted to handle Howard Castle with the boss fights and the weapons. And then about 3 weeks after the game came out, it stabilized a lot more. And so then just sort of small optimizations started coming in. For example, a couple of weeks ago, I found out that you can save like about 6 seconds by scanning the Toon Link amiibo in Castletown instead of the Great Plateau. So there's still small changes like that coming in every now and then.
Yeah, for sure. And like in terms of, you talk about that boss rush in Hyrule Castle, and that got mentioned in the pre-show also. So how do you handle something like that? You're set at such a low level, like you don't have upgrade hearts, you don't have much armor. How are you handling situations like that? Like Breath of the Wild is a cool game because it gives you a lot of freedom, it gives you a lot of tools. What tools are you putting to work to make this run happen?
So you get a potion, a level 3 attack potion, which boosts every attack you put out by 50%, which makes things a lot easier, because if you didn't have that, you'd have to get more weapons. And there's carefully routed out boss fight strategies. Typically, for pretty much all the boss fights, you want to prioritize headshots, which do actually double damage. So basically just smart aiming and strategies like that.
So you get a lot of like ammo management with the arrows?
Correct. It can be a little tricky because the current 90% routes, you have to break wooden boxes to get arrows, and those will spawn anywhere from like 5 to 40 arrows, which can really mix things up. The average that I typically get is around 15, which is fine. Any more than 25 isn't really worth it, but it's definitely a little bit of luck thrown in there.
And so how do you adapt if you're not getting enough or if you're getting too many? Like I think speed games that have variable routing during the run are really cool. So with that arrow route, what are you doing differently if you get more or less?
So I'll typically have at least 15 arrows going into the boss rush, and I'll use about 8 for the blight fights, and I'll use the rest for Calamity. And for Calamity, you want around 20 arrows, because if you shoot around 20 arrows and they're all headshots, that's the end of the first phase. So typically you don't always have that amount, so you'll just do more flurry rushes with one of the swords that you pick up in the room.
Okay, cool. And kind of winding down here. So the community for this game, despite it being so new, is really big. Like, people were on top of it when it came out, just wanting to speedrun this game. How does it feel representing that large of a community at GDQ? And do you think that community has your back for this run?
Yeah, they definitely do. It's really awesome to be able to represent the community and all the people who sort of molded the run into what it is today. It's really awesome.
All right, for sure. Well, Breath of the Wild is going to be coming up later this afternoon thanks to all of your generous donations. $100,000, guys. That is absolutely amazing. I am Proto Magical Girl here with Orchestra, and you'll be seeing her later for a Breath of the Wild any % speedrun. Now we're going to throw back to the front for Dark Souls with Bubbles Del Fuego.
All right, we're back. We're got a couple donations I want to read here real quick. We have $150 from John191 saying, "Love this event and love you guys for supporting this charity." And we're going to throw a quick Twitch ad really quick, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short ad. All right, and welcome back. Again, coming up, we have a Dark Souls run by Bubbles Del Fuego. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we're going to read a few more donations. And we have a $100 donation from Nogreme saying, "I had to donate during the game that I watched my dad play so many times, and here's that Breath of the Wild run. I will donate $100 if the announcer pronounced my name right." Well, I tried my best. Hopefully it was correct. We have $15 from Rolling Thunder saying, "Praise the Sun and Doctors Without Borders." We have $200 from Chijerigan. Long time I was split about the Zelda Breath of the Wild run. On one side, I love this game so much, I don't really want to see it be beaten in minutes. On the other hand, I love GDQ so much, I don't want to miss anything. And then I thought about what Spike Vegeta said at the beginning of the marathon, and I was set. Flying on rocks. We have $200 from Trander saying, "Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin." I want to take a moment to say that Games Done Quick is now accepting bits during SGDQ. When you cheer during SGDQ, Games Done Quick will donate 1 cent from each bits cheered to Doctors Without Borders. I also just wanted to give a quick update on some of the Earthbound donation incentives. As always, we have a lot of the name bid wars going on. Please donate to those as you see fit. But we also have other donation incentives for Earthbound that have not been yet met. There's Out of Bounds. We're currently at 9.1 thousand out of the 25,000 needed for that. The Shattered Man glitch, which we are getting closer to that. That needs 50,000. We are currently a little over 38,000. And the photo collection, which we need 32,000 for, sitting at just over 10K. We have $50 from Rubber Ross saying, loving SGDQ this year. Made sure not to miss this run. I'm terrible at it, but I love watching people destroy it. Wishing you luck. We have a $15 donation from RockTexture005.png saying, Rock Texture here. Sorry I'm late. Did I miss anything? We have $50 from Hellbender saying, hi GDQ. Second time watching the marathon with the whole family. And yes, that includes my 3- and 5-year-olds. Dark Souls teaches them the valuable lesson to get good or die trying. We have $100 from Fear the Old Blood. Missed out on donating during AGDQ, could not forget this time. Thank you to everyone involved in GDQ. Prithvi, be careful with this run. We have $50 from the Greek Thunder saying, donating for a great cause, but also so my brother has to watch the Breath of the Wild run and spoil the ending. That's pretty cruel for your brother. All right, and we're ready to throw it over to Bubbles Del Fuego for running Dark Souls.
Oh, there he is. Nice and...
It's a strong-looking man.
It is. All right. It doesn't retain, but the color will stay. So, hello, my name is Bubbles Del Fuego, and welcome to the SGDQ 2017 Cringe Compilation. This is Dark Souls 1. This is like the Dark Souls of the Dark Souls franchise. And behind me, I've got the Crash Bandicoot community to keep me strong.
What's up?
Hey, and they can wave when I say their name. So it's Saint Million.
I don't run Crash Bandicoot.
You don't. It's separate.
Oh, that's me.
And I got Kane and Pocky. We got Wed, and we got Pack. He made speedrun.com. Everyone should go there and crash the site. And so we got Big Law, and we got Thor, who just did an amazing run of Dark Souls 3.
Hey!
You guys had to raise $50,000 for this game to happen, and you did that in like 6 hours. So round of applause for that. That's amazing. Wasn't even sure if this was going to make it in because we had some schedule problems, but I'm so happy it did, and that I didn't have to waste my time. Enter character name. Now, there was no incentive for this, but my boy, Covert Muffin.
Let's get the Spacemans in chat. The Replacemans.
I can't do it on the man because there's not enough space for Spaceman. But, OK. And I'll let you guys know when the timer starts. It's when I begin movement. So that's a really cool cutscene, but we're not going to watch it. And so is that, but we're not going to watch it. And start the timer. All right.
Yeah, Dark Souls.
Let's go.
All right, so Dark Souls movement, you want to zigzag? All right, so I want to get naked as fast as possible so my stamina can regenerate properly.